the Daily Ramble podcast. Oh my goodness. That was beyond frustrating for me. It really, really was. I've been saying the whole way through this, the whole way through, leading up to this game, the last thing I wanted to see. There's one thing that could see me lose my temper, go mad, and that is that we end up seeing fucking Jedward in central midfield again. Those two in midfield. That was the one thing I said that would make me lose my temper. Not a loss. Not us being outplayed and the new players failing to gel. To see the same fucking thing that poisoned us all last year and that we've seen in pre-season, to see those two players come on the pitch, that was the one thing I said would make me lose my fucking mind. And I'm sorry, there is no excuse for it. None. The man came in. Apparently, he's been studying fucking West Ham. He's seen the tapes. He's seen everything else. He could see how we was getting overrun in midfield last year. He could easily see that if he did fucking study it. And he's been seeing them train. He's seen them in pre-season. Those two are fucking shit. So those changes that he made, I'll get onto the actual game in a minute, but the actual changes that he made killed us, killed the fucking game. I'll get on to talk about the goals and Duran and everything in a minute. But fuck me, Jedward, why? Why do we have to finish the game with those two in midfield? What were those fucking changes? And I know Souček done all right. He does. He'll throw his head in there. He won us a fucking penalty. He should have scored towards the end. He had 2 bites of the cherry, knocked it over the fucking bar. That's all he does. But what the other thing he does is he disrupts us being able to play a different style. You can't have a manager coming into a game. This is just after the game, by the way. So please excuse me. I've not had a chance to cool down. But you can't say you're going to come in and play a possession-based game and have players like Soufal and fucking Souček in there. You can't. And then you bring on the invisible man in Jedward to partner them. I genuinely can't fucking understand it. I really can't. It's like, do you know what? It felt no different to last year there. We've got to give him time. I will give him time. Like I said, I didn't expect really to win. They're a settled team. They're a better team. But I expected to see something. Some progression. Something different. Not just the same shit. What have we brought all these players in for? What have we got to do? Is it a seniority thing again? Have we got to let all of the old guard play because they've got senior status, and then the other players have got to play backup? Is that what we've got to fucking do? You're a new manager. Come in and fucking change it. Change your team. Stamp your authority on it. Get rid of that fucking Jedward. I don't care if you can't sell him. Because I tell you what, if the rumour is that this is a fucking shop window for Souček, well, it's a shit shop window, mate. It is. Because you're better off hiding him. Because everyone can see he's shit. So this ain't working. We're going to end up stuck with him. We could have got something from that. We could have got something from that game. They were not on it. Aston Villa were not on it at all. They were playing at like 50%. I tell you who they did get on. They got much better when fucking Duran came on, though, didn't they? What a player. What a fucking player that is. Was running us ragged, bullying our fucking defenders, clinical, movement, looked fucking perfect, didn't he? And I don't want to get stuck into Fulkrug because it's not his fault that he's not his fault that we got him as it looks like, rather than Duran. He's a good player in his own right. But fuck it, there's no comparison. You've got a player there that literally can do it all. He would have transformed us. And he scored. Of course he scored. He was always going to score. And we ain't going to get him now. Not a chance. That ship has fucking sailed. So now what we've got is we've got Fulkrug up front. We've got no creativity really in the team. The only time we created chances towards the end was when we started whipping balls in the box. None of those found their way to Fulkrug. Danny Ings got a fucking header. But look, I don't know. I saw the starting lineup. That worried me, that bothered me, because it just looked the same. You had Rodriguez in for Alvarez and you had Kilman in for Aguirre. Other than that, it was the same as last season. There was no difference. It was the same fucking team. You had Emerson, Kilman, Mavropanos, Soufal. In central midfield, you had Rodriguez. I keep calling him Fernandez. You had Rodriguez, who is a player, he looks all right, but you've got to be some talent to carry Thomas Souček. You have. Declan Rice did it. I think to a degree Alvarez did it. You know, the guy doesn't look like he's got a lot of pace. We were getting overrun like fuck in central midfield. It was embarrassing. We was getting overrun. They were running through us at will in the first half. They should have been 3-0 up in 30 minutes. Easily. Poor finishing from them. They should have been out of fucking sight. So the starting lineup was wrong. He got that wrong. The approach was wrong. I don't know what we did tactically. Do you? Was we trying to play a position game? Was we trying to play counter-attack? You've got Mohamed Kudus shunting out to the left fucking wing to make space for Thomas Souček. Our best player, Mohamed Kudus, is played out in the area of the pitch where he is least effective to accommodate Thomas Souček in case he fucking manages to crash his way into the box and fall over someone. He won us a penalty. Well done, mate. Well fucking done. It weren't enough. It's not Souček's fault. It isn't his fault. But the geezer's just throttling our ability to be able to play football. They've got to get him out. Get that fucking player out of the middle of our team. That's the midfield. If you want to progress and you want to go towards a passing game, that's the first area you've got to address. Midfield. You've got to. Just get him out, for fuck's sake. So we managed to sort of get back into it completely against the run of play. Villa missed loads of chances. And then Duran done the unthinkable, didn't he? Duran just sort of popped up and scored. He was going to. You know, if I should really have put a bet on it because I sort of called it before the game that he was going to score. Good player. Very good. Well, he's more than good. He's more than good. He's a fucking outstanding player. You know, we could have got him for 30 million, 35 million, but oh no, we'll fuck around. We'll leave it. And then we try and barter him down. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to go and get Fulcrook for 25 million. Save ourselves 10 million. Have you? Have you saved yourselves 10 million? I'm lost for words with the changes. The changes were ridiculous. They were. To bring off Antonio Bowen, having seen what he saw in the first part of the game, which was our midfield getting murdered. Our midfield got murdered. So to then address that, by taking off Lucas Paqueta, who admittedly didn't have a great game, Bowen, who admittedly didn't have a great game, and Antonio, who another one didn't really have a great game, but these are three fucking good players. To take those three off and then bring on James Ward-Prowse to partner Souček. Souček played every minute again. Has he got... I used to think he had something on Moyes. Has he got something on Sullivan? That fucker plays every minute of every game. So to weaken our midfield further, it is very simple the way we should have started that game. I could give him a pass for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Todibo. They came in well late. So I could understand him maybe going, do you know what? We'll stick with Soufal. We'll stick with Mavropanos there. That's fine because they've only just come in. But Somerville's been here 3 weeks. So Somerville's been here 3 weeks, which means we've got a natural left-sided player there, which means that we could bring Kudus into the centre of the fucking midfield in the 10 with Paqueta and Rodriguez behind him. You know, that golden triangle we've been talking about. You know, beautiful football, sort of mercurial play, knocking the ball about, driving runs, creativity, vision. We could have had that. He had a chance to do it before he made the changes, and then he had a chance to do it afterwards, but he didn't. He took a fucking Bowen. And... who's supposed to be the captain? Took off Bowen, Antonio and Paqueta. I've never seen... a lot of people say bold. That's bold decisions. It weren't bold. It was bollocks. It was bollocks because he left inferior players on the pitch. So even if at 1-1 you make those changes and even if your mindset is to sort of have what you hold, keep what you've got, that's no fucking good because you're making your midfield weaker. They're going to run through you even easier. Or if it's to make yourself more creative, to go after the game. Again, it's no good. It made no fucking sense. It made no sense. I'm just so fucking worried now. I'm worried now that the guy is going to take forever to get to grips with this squad. Because that to me isn't... with all the players that we've got, the collection of players that we've got, that should not be the team that was playing... you know, the changes that were made, which my mind is blown. My mind is fucking blown. I'm sorry. It was a fucking catastrophe. We were lucky that we weren't completely out of sight, or they weren't out of sight, so we were still in the game. You know, we almost got an equaliser late on. We were so lucky. But the changes that we made, fucking hell. You know, yeah, look, someone said there, 80 million, it's doubled. Of course it has. We ain't getting Duran now. We fucked up. We messed around. Well done, Sullivan. I hope you're proud of yourself, mate. Well done. That's a player. How many times did Fulcrook touch the fucking ball? But like I said, this ain't... I'm not out to get... It's not Fulcrook's fault. It's not. He's not that type of player. He's not. I wanted fucking Duran. That's why I was moaning. But anyway, let's go through the comments. What did you all think? Am I overreacting, people? I'll tell you what. Let me start at the bottom. Am I overreacting? What do you reckon? Did you watch that? Was you impressed by that? You know, like I said to you, I would have been happy to give it. Yeah, I'm happy to give it time. Of course I am. Let the new players gel. The new style of play come in. You know, we're going to lose some games. It's going to be fine. We just did the same thing as what we'd done last year. Same formation, same shape. Played the same fucking way. You know, is it Moyes in a fucking bodysuit? I don't know what's going on. Apparently I'm overreacting. Well, we'll see if I'm overreacting. I'm not overreacting at the changes, Ben. Ben, explain to me what positives did you see when the subs come on? Apart from Kudus being played in a position where he can affect the game more. Because in the first part of the game, he was shunted out, spare parted on the left-hand side to make space for Souček, not Bowen. So that we can... Because Kudus's best positions are number 10 or their right wing. But obviously we can't put him in the middle because if you do that, you've got to take lanky bollocks out, haven't you? Honestly, it was so frustrating. And of course I'm going to give him time, Lopetegui. Of course he's got to get to grips with his team. But you've got to call it for what it is. We just watched a load of shit. We're going to... But all those players, our expectations are through the fucking roof. We're thinking change, finally. We can breathe. We're going to get change. We didn't get fucking change. And I ain't talking about the win. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not distraught because Aston Villa beat us. They're a good team. But fucking hell, it's too much for me. So that was I was not expecting no subs. The starting lineup was bad enough. The starting lineup was shit. The subs were worse. Worse. Like if it could be fucking worse than that starting lineup, he made it worse. The only thing that he did was he enabled Kudus, whereas he'd shackled him in the first part of the game. Because that's what you do when you put Kudus out on the left. He's still going to have moments. He's a brilliant player. But he ain't his most effective when he's out there. Of course he ain't. It needs to be down the middle or fucking on the right-hand side. Yeah, there's a Villa fan here. Look, I'm not arguing with you, mate. You should have battered us. Your finishing was poor. 100%. Should have been... I've said that. You should have been 3-0 up in the first part of the game. But I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about the outcome of this game. I'm concerned about the football that we fucking played and the selections that we put out. That's what I'm concerned about. I weren't expecting us to go out and win with a new manager, new style, new players. But we've got a new manager, same players, same style by the look of it at the minute. So how long have we got to wait until that changes? I know it will, but it won't change while Souček's in that fucking team. It won't. You can't play a passing game with Thomas fucking Souček. And in that first half, Soufal, every fucking attack was coming down that side. Every attack. He didn't get any better in the second half. He's a ghost. And to try and change things by bringing... I think you can get away just about with having either James Ward-Prowse or Thomas Souček in that team. You could have either or. None of them are going to fucking help you out massively, but you can get away with it. You can carry one of them. You can't have two of them. You can't. It's been proven. We've got a full season, a body of proof to show that it doesn't work, even in pre-season. So... I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed, everyone. I'm annoyed. Right, so let's have a look at the... let's go through your comments anyway. I'm not going to bang on about it too much because I just... Yeah. I'm always going to be honest. I am. You know, if we'd have come on... If Villa would have beaten us 5-0, but we were trying to play a different way and we had the new players out there and they were struggling to... You know, there was some mistakes and stuff like that because of the new style. Well, you know, I'd have been absolutely fine. This is the worst possible outcome for me for the first game of the season, to watch that. The same fucking thing. Honestly. And he looked raging at the end, Lopetegui. He should be raging with his fucking self. That's the only person he should be fucking raging with. Because he made it... The starting lineup was shit and the subs were shit. Honestly. The Doghouse says, first game, Nick, let it be. It will take time. It will, mate. But you still... I'm doing a match review. What are you supposed to do? Just come in here and go, oh, don't worry about it. It's all fine. You know, it's one of them things. There's no point making a fucking video. I'm doing a reaction. This is how I feel. So this is what I'm relaying. I'm relaying to you exactly how I feel after the game, and I'm not happy. All right. It's as simple as that. I'm not. I wasn't happy during the fucking game, and I weren't happy after it. It was shit. But somehow we almost got something out of it again. I don't know how Souček missed that towards the end. Riz Chip says he was fuming as well. He's calmed down now. You can see Lopo going mad on the touchline. Players weren't listening. Mate, listen. He's culpable for that one. You know, I'll tell you what. On the player ratings, let me ask you a question. What would you give Lopetegui for that performance? You know, taking everything out of equation. Say that was like middle of the season with the team that he picked. I'm not going to get the donkeys out tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give him a couple of weeks' grace. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to do that to him yet. But that was a fucking donkey. That was a donkey performance from him in terms of his lineup and the way he managed the game. It was. So something's got it better fucking change. Our finishing was poor. Yeah, so was theirs, mate. They fuck me. They should have been 3-0, 4-0 up in the first half hour. I think our manager wanted to see what established players could do. He now knows. Mate, he's been seeing it pre-season. That's the thing. He's been seeing it. I don't buy that. See, this is my worry now. I've been having arguments with people. They've been saying Souček's going to start. He's going to start, and James. I'm going, no, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Souček ain't going to start. He's been shop windowing the player. We're not going to have any worries like that. You know, we're going to see a different team when it comes to Aston Villa. We are. I truly believed it. We didn't, did we? You know? Oh. Bagel the Bagel says, I'm sick to the back teeth of watching shit performances. The dross has to be, yeah, I am. And like I said to you, it's just a fact. I could take getting beat, but to do it in that manner, because Villa weren't even at the races, I don't think, today. I mean, the only one that was Duran when he came on. He looked sharp. He looked really sharp. That's sticking his fingers up to us, isn't it? Let's face it. We should have paid the fucking money, shouldn't we? That was our player. It was literally our player. It was nothing like with Moyes. Moyes had us defending for 90 minutes every game. I'm not saying it was exactly. It wasn't a low block, but the performance. We created nothing. We didn't really retain the ball. We didn't control the game. They did. They controlled the game. I don't really know what we did, Apache. I couldn't tell you what the game plan was. I couldn't. I wish I could tell you. This is what I mean. I said on Gates's show the other day, I wanted to see progress. I wanted to see something. I don't know if I could. I couldn't tell you what he was trying to do there, either with the starting lineup or with the substitutions. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what his game plan might have been. I don't know. What's this? Face orange, biting nails. Nick Dunn doing his best bin dipper impression. Calm down. Make you want to cry. Cheers, Russ. Why do we play our best player out of position? Actually, our two best. No, I know. Yeah, look, Fulkrug was awful, but this is, again, Scott, this is the thing, mate. If we play in this manner, he is going to be shit. The same as Skamaka was and the same as Hilaire was. He is a conventional striker. No frills. No frills at all, right? They're a very particular type of player that flourish when you've got a really good pattern of play. He said it himself. He said it himself in his opening interview. Came out and said, I'm not the player that beats 5 players. I need players to supply me. We weren't supplying fuck all in that game. There wasn't really any intelligent movement. The passing wasn't sharp. We weren't retaining the fucking ball. Decision-making was off. You know, I thought Somerville looked lively when he came on. I was happy with Somerville. Definitely happy with Somerville. But no, I'm not gonna blame Fulkrug. 100% I would have had Duran all day long. All day fucking long, and twice on Sunday. He's better. He's a better, as what I consider to be a better player. A different type of striker. But it doesn't mean that Fulkrug is shit. Fulkrug is the type of player that he is. You know? Like I said, a conventional, old-fashioned forward. Who won the pen? Yeah, he did win the pen, Nick. I know. But who's the reason why we can't keep hold of the fucking ball? Him. This is the thing. So yes, he's always gonna crash into the box and have a moment. He's always gonna do that. But him being in that team prevents you from being able to play football. It does. This is what I mean. He'll be shit for 90 minutes and then he'll pop into the box and bang one in. Stringy missed out on Duran. What a player. Yeah, and I don't think he's going to leave Villa. What's that? He'll leave Villa too because he's too good. Oh, I'll see what you're saying now. Maybe, you know, if he becomes their number 9, because with all due respect, he looks far better than Watkins. Watkins played 60 minutes. He played half an hour. Duran looked like a far better player. His goals per minutes ratio, because he got fuck all minutes last year, but whenever he did play, he scored. It's better than Watkins. As good as Watkins is, I think this guy could be better. So he could end up pushing Watkins out of the team. Maybe they'll give us Watkins for a knockdown price. You never know. You get one chance to sign fucking players like that. One. Dickheads. Danny Smith says we need a fast and strong and able midfield. Tim still needs a yeah, mate. I know. It's just look. I think we've got a good squad of players now. If you look at the players that we've got there, when you're doing your kind of squad builders and stuff like that, there's some great players there. But he's got to get them in. None of this tinkering shit. This is what I was worried about. I was worried, right, that didn't work. We'll make a few tweaks next week. Right, that didn't work. We'll make a few tweaks that week. Fuck all that. Envisage what your strongest 11 will be. He will know that in his head because he will have had a vision when he bought these players of what he thinks his 11 will become. Play that 11. Fucking play them until they click, until they gel, and then that's what you do. I don't want all this, you know. It was shit. David Lloyd says the subs were what they were because of a change of formation. James Ward-Prowse came on because Paqueta was leggy. Ultimately, it will be time for J-Lo to work out who he can and can't rely on. Again, though, David, if he's been out of work for 6 months before he got that job, apparently he's been lined up for West Ham for a long time and he knew everything about West Ham and the squad before he came in. And he's had a pre-season with them. I'm not buying that. It ain't like he's just been dumped in a week ago. That's not the case. He don't know nothing about the club. He does. Hey. Our problem in midfield is not passing, it's energy and legs. That as well. I'll give you that, 100%. And that's why, Trini, I wanted to put Kudus in the middle. Because when if you had Rodriguez, Paqueta and Kudus in the middle, it gives you some dynamism in there. He does. But passing is a fucking problem if you want to hold the ball, though, Trini. It really is. You know, you need players that can see and execute a pass. We've seen Souček struggle to execute a 5-yard pass. He does every now and then. We get carried away. When Souček has a game where he makes 4 completed passes, we say what a great game he had. That's how low the fucking bar is. I'm not a fan, never will be. We need to calm down, but Thomas is crap. That's why I'm angry. That's why I'm angry with it. It's just the fact that we put those two in midfield. I'm sick of seeing it, and I don't want to see it anymore. I really am. You know, Mandy says, hi Nick, Guido with Alvarez, Kilman and Todibo, Bissaka right back will give us a new dimension. Yeah, I hope so. I think so. You know, and looking at that midfield today, because I was pushing back on that, having Alvarez and Rodriguez in there. But I think we're going to have to do it as well. I think we are. The only thing is Alvarez ain't the quickest either. My only concern with that Rodriguez today was he in particular looked quite slow. There was a moment when was it Rodgers? Just fucking glided past him and he just kept on getting further away. So he's not he's a good player, but I'm saying in terms of mobility in the middle, we've got really slow midfielders. Really slow. That's where someone like Fofana would have come in handy. Need wholesale changes against Palace. Yeah, we do. We do. But are we going to see it? I'm not so sure. Are you now? I would have. That was literally. Listen, Lopetegui had the element of surprise in this game. You know, Emery wouldn't have known what he was going to do, what team he was going to pick. He could have really had some fun and been creative with this team, with this lineup for today's game. He could have. I bet Emery was fucking rubbing his hands together when he saw that lineup. No, but I'm not saying he did play bad. This is the thing. I'm not saying he played bad, but the team played bad as a result of Thomas Souček. Do we want to be a passing team or do we not? If you want to be a passing team, don't put a clogger in the middle of the park. He did all right. He always does all right. He puts a shift in. I've got a couple of super chats. How'd you do it? There it is. So Jack Dervish says, 100% mate, Souček's a broken cog in a new machine. Yes, that's exactly it. Eloquently put. James Goodin, super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Felt more like Big Sam than Moyes, just as poor. We've got to give him time. I want to see this team and I want to see it change. I'm not turning on Lopetegui. I'm turning on today. I'm judging today's performance. You know, if we're still doing that in 6 months' time, then yeah, I won't be fucking happy. Thank you very much, Charles. $20. Pear character looking at himself in a mirror saying, thanks for being here, with hearts popping out of his eyes. I don't know what that is. Is that a picture that you sent? Sorry, mate. That's a bit weird. Mavropanos and Kilman were like having two wardrobes whenever people ran at them. Yeah, I thought Kilman is a bit of a worry, isn't he? Like when people are running at him. I do think that Tadebo's going to make a massive difference. I think once Tadebo's in there, I think it'll make a big difference. And you know, and West Ham fan says, "Be positive, Nick." I will be positive, mate, but you've got to call it for what you just watched. There are no positives from that game. There aren't, apart from Somerville. Somerville, I liked when he came on. He looked really lively out on the left-hand side. Looked natural because he's a natural left-sided player. Nice to have someone out there, isn't it, who's used to playing out there. So yeah, I like that. And it was also good seeing when Bowen came off. It was good to see Kudus unleashed, if you like. You know, he had a because he was shackled out there on the left. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, look, I'm going to leave it for now because I don't want this to run on forever. I don't want to take up your whole evening with me moaning. I'm not gonna not be positive. I'm not, but this is a match reaction. That is how I feel at the moment. That's how I felt during. I thought it was shit and it needs to be better. Those players need to come out. So my closing statement is: Soufal, get him out. Souček, get him out. James Ward-Prowse, the less said about him, the better. Get Kudus in the 10. Leave Bowen on the right. Put Somerville on the left-hand side. And you know what? Whatever you do with... I was in favour of starting Antonio, but he's got to make those changes. We've got to get Aaron Wan-Bissaka in. We've got to get Tadebo in. We've got to get Somerville in. He's got to do it. Now. There's no point in playing these players anyway because we're going to fucking lose. So don't play them. Play the new players. Let them get used to each other is what I'm trying to say. Please. I'm begging you, Loppy. I want you to succeed. I do. Okay, right. Let you all go. Speak to you all soon. Drop a like on the video, please. Yeah, come on, you irons.